the most iconic show on personal technology on Indian television, or at least my mum thinks so.
At least we've got one fan. Thank you, Mrs. Datta.
Yes, this is Datta, and I am of course Naomi, and that's my equally iconic co-anchor, or at least my mum thinks so, Ankit.
I don't know where you're going with this, but this is quite an iconic show this week on Switch because, you know, there is a question that has been troubling us since time immemorial, and the question is, have laptops become the new washing machines? We're going to try and answer that on Switch this week, but before that, what else is coming up on the show?
Acer Aspire P3, should you aspire to it?
Which machine is your ultimate work-on-the-go option?
Android 4.3, it doesn't matter if you didn't pay attention to decimals in school. For Android users, 4.3 gives you more bean for your jelly.
So like you can tell, this show is dedicated to computing machines because we've been accused way too many times that all you care about is smartphones and mobile phones. Not true at all. Though we have tried to sneak in a smartphone in Dirika's story later on the show. But you know, the fundamental question this week that we are trying to address is, I kid you not, when I say, have laptops become the new washing machines or the new microwaves? What do I mean by that? You know, it's only white goods where almost no innovation takes place in terms of design and functionality. It's a standard function, and design overhaul hasn't really happened for decades.
Yeah.
Look at the laptop that you or your parents used way back in early 2000s. You will realize that laptops today don't look any different now.
Absolutely. There is no innovation in terms of design.
Absolutely none.
So what does that bring us to?
That brings us to two devices on the show which are trying to reinvent and redesign and break out of the mold that laptops have gotten themselves into.
We'll go first up with this Taiwanese company. We're talking about the Acer Aspire P3, which is really trying to be a laptop, which is also a tablet. I mean, that's not really the exact description, but you know how hybrid devices are. They are nowhere devices, so this is a nowhere description. We get so we get into that, but before that, let's quickly get into the tech specs and tell you a little bit more about this one.
Acer Aspire P3 starts at a reasonable price, approximately 39,000 rupees, and has the guts of an Intel Ivy Bridge laptop, including a Core i3 processor and 64GB of solid-state drive. The bonus is that rather than a clunky chassis, it comes with a carrying case that doubles up as a proper keyboard. At 0.4-inch thickness, Aspire P3 is actually slimmer than anything that packs in a Core i3 processor, but it doesn't sacrifice on utility. There's room for a full-size USB 3.0 connection, and at 800 odd grams, it's definitely lighter than most of the other 11.6-inch Core i3 tablets. Fire up this Windows 8 tablet PC, slide it into the ready-made slot when you feel like watching movies or answering email, and there you have it, a machine that's almost a laptop. Minus the trackpad though, you'll sorely miss that. Oh, but there's a USB slot for attaching a wired mouse. But hello, it's a touchscreen tablet for God's sake. There's another downside to this form factor. You can't adjust the screen angle. P3's 4-cell 5280 mAh battery lasts up to 5 hours, which is decent for a laptop, but not good enough for a tablet.
Now, obviously, the Acer Aspire P3 review comprises of two distinct parts. Number one is the hardware, which full marks to Acer, they've always been innovating with their hardware. Aspire P3 is far from an ultrabook. It's basically a Windows 8 tablet with an 11.6-inch touchscreen that also sort of, you know, wants to be a laptop with this carry case that you can slap onto this.
Which doubles up as a keyboard.
So hardware-wise,
yeah.
It's quite an impressive thing. Even though it's a 2012 i3 processor, it's a nice, smooth, breezy tablet or a laptop, however you want to call it. So hardware-wise, it scores in terms of, you know, packing in this beautiful screen into this really slim profile of a tablet, even for a 11.6-inch size. But the problem really starts with this design philosophy. You know, the carry case doubles up as a keypad, and what that really puts you into, you know, is once you slap it on here, firstly, this is difficult, you know.
That's because he's awkward.
Now I'm clumsy, yes, but I'm brushing against the keypad, so I don't want to, you know, erupt the keys out of that. But once this falls into place, there's really no adjusting the tilt angle.
If you have it on a table, it's pretty stable, but we did try the lap test. You know, we now have the lap test on the show. We put it on our laps and it's really unstable. It's really
Especially if you're in a car or moving
it's
somewhere,
really
impossible.
uncomfortable. So in terms of, okay, this design innovation is all well and good, but it's not practical. Now coming to the keyboard itself, it's good. I mean, you can type and all
it's
of
a
that.
well-spaced keyboard.
But the problem is you don't have a touchpad at all. So
And that really
Yeah,
drives
that's-
you up the wall. Now, understood that Windows 8 is a full touch interface and there are icons and tiles and apps. But when you switch to the desktop mode, which a lot of people will do if you're number crunching and, you know, spreadsheeting and all of that, where's the trackpad?
So you need your own mouse. That doesn't kind of make any sense
And you
at
can't
all.
keep your mouse if
No,
you're
you
traveling
can't.
in a
so
car.
if it completely negates the entire notion of a portable device which you can use on the go because it doesn't have a touchpad, and that for me is a fundamental
It's a big
design,
bummer. It's a big bummer.
What is not so commendable about this is the battery life. It's rather poor. It's about 5.5 hours of unplugged computing time.
Which
really.
is all right for an Intel Core i3 or an i5 laptop, but uncool considering it's a tablet.
I'm definitely not going to aspire to it at all. It doesn't aspire, it doesn't inspire, it does nothing.
All right. For roughly about 40,000 rupees, it may seem like value for money, but it's a forgettable machine. So skip this one, and we're going to show you if you want a machine to work on the go. Is it a smartphone? Is it your existing tablet? Or is it a brand new Ultrabook? Devika's got the story after this quick break. Welcome back. You're watching Switch with Naomi and me, and we are addressing a very, very fundamental existential questions for our beloved laptops. Have laptops become the new fossilized dinosaurs of the technology world? Because year on year, if you look at pure figures, year on year, the share of laptops has significantly reduced. And what is eaten up into this share? The share of tablets.
Absolutely. And that's because laptops refuse to innovate. There are people like me who are sort of clinging on to my clunky old laptop and I hold on to it and it's...
But that is the fundamental problem.
Yeah.
We make a laptop purchase once in 5 or
That's
7
true.
years,
That's
and we
true.
change our
That's
tablets and smartphones 18 to
Yeah.
24
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
So, you know, the refresh cycle needs to increase,
Yes.
the interval of the refresh cycle.
Yes, but Ankit, what's our next story?
Oh, our next story is actually just that. In case you don't want to buy a brand new laptop, or in case you do, basically Devika's out there in the market to find out what is the best work on the go option. Is it a tablet? Is it a ginormous smartphone? Or is it a brand new Ultrabook?
Even after getting done with work from the entire day, you still have work to do. You have handovers to give, you have text messages to reply, you have to make those calls so that the next day becomes fine. So what do you need for this? You need a gadget that is like a stallion. It's super fast, it is strong, it has a great battery life, which will help you out while you're working, right? And we have contenders for this. LG Optimus G Pro, Sony's new Ultrabook, and little keypad accessories which are quite interesting.
Before you say that the Optimus G Pro looks like the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, do hear LG out. Yes, it's a gigantic phone like the Note 2, but way superior. The Pro has the latest of the best specs. In fact, the tech specs are as stellar as the Samsung Galaxy S4, and that's saying something. First of all, Optimus G Pro has a gorgeous pocket-hogging 5.5-inch touchscreen, which is perfect for viewing all your Excel sheets and presentations on the go. Let's take a minute to soak in its brilliant 1080 by 1920 pixel resolution. And that's not all. LG has taken this stellar screen, added a robust Qualcomm 1.7 GHz quad-core processor, and given us a very, very responsive touchscreen experience. It has 2 GB RAM, runs Android Jelly Bean, and has 16 and 32 GB of internal memory that can be pushed up to 64 GB with a micro SD card. Don't forget the 13 megapixel rear camera with LED flash and the 2 megapixel camera at the front. The LG Optimus G Pro comes equipped with Wi-Fi Direct, DLNA, GPRS, GPS and NFC, so no connectivity issues while you're traveling. For Rs 38,000, well, we at Switch are completely taken by this one. A big thumbs up to the LG Optimus G Pro. Wish it was just 5,000 bucks cheaper though.
Now, smartphones are distracting. You have WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages. So when you're actually working, you're not really working, right? So in that world where everything is on mobile, would you find it more disciplined to work on an Ultrabook?
Sony Vaio Pro 13-inch. The most, I'm too stupefied to find a word worthy of it, the sexiest Ultrabook ever. A sleek unidirection carbon fiber body combined with a hexa shell design gives the Sony Vaio Pro 13 great durability. And then it's unnaturally light. Sony says it's the lightest 11 and 13-inch Ultrabook. Durable and lightweight. Now what else do you want in a portable travel gadget? Running on Windows 8, this 13-inch Ultrabook has a beautiful screen with a resolution of 1080 pixels. But it has one vice. The screen is super reflective too, which can be a problem if you're carrying it in the sun. The performance is breezy with a 1.6 GHz dual-core processor, and the battery life is decent at 6 hours on Wi-Fi. Additionally, there is 4 GB of RAM and a 128 GB SSD drive that keeps everything going. The keyboard is great. However, the edges of the laptop are quite sharp. Sony, somebody's gonna get hurt real bad with those razor-sharp edges. For the price of 74K, this is as sexy as an Ultrabook can get and is the perfect day companion. So break your piggy bank and indulge in this gorgeous Sony Vaio Pro 13.
And what if I give you a tablet with really cool keypad accessories?
And I mean really, really cool Bluetooth-enabled keyboards for your tablets. Traveling was never this fun. Look at Logitech's ultra-thin keypad. Lightweight and Bluetooth enabled. This keypad works as a dock for your iPad and iPad mini and also acts as an iPad cover. Not only is this multitasking ultra-thin device easy to travel with, it also adds the element of style. The Logitech's ultra-thin keypad has been designed in a way that it complements your iPad. In fact, it comes in white too to match the Apple palette. The Logitech ultra-thin keypad for your iPad will cost you Rs 7,995, while the one for the iPad mini will come for Rs 6,395. Next is Scotia's Bluetooth wireless keyboard, a more democratic keyboard than the ultra-thin keypad. Besides your Apple tablets, this keyboard can be used with your Android devices as well. So what's so cool about this one? Well, this one can be rolled up in a compact size and is water resistant up to 30 feet of wireless range. This Scotia's keyboard promises up to 60 hours of battery life. This gymnast of a keyboard is all yours at Rs 3,490. You know you want to be the next Tom Cruise in Minority Report. This Cellulon Magic keyboard will give you a glimpse of that dream sequence. A tremendously cool piece of innovation. This compact device is perfect for traveling due to its sheer size. It's a tiny device that projects a laser keyboard on any flat and opaque surface. Like this. Super cool, right? And typing is effortless. Connect it to any Bluetooth device and you're set in minutes to type away on this very cool and expensive keyboard. Yes, I said expensive. It's priced at Rs 14,500. But if you're the type who has a penchant for expensive yet innovative gadgets, we'll recommend this right away.
And you know who's the winner? The LG Optimus G Pro. Why? Because it's super fast, it's convenient, it's portable, and it has a day longer battery life. And in a world where everything is going on mobile, why would you want anything different?
So apart from all the devices on the go that Devika spoke about, there's something else that we have here. In fact, we have a little...
Fresh hot off the oven.
It's not available in India. We have a sneak preview because we have friends who are globe-trotters and pick up these things for us. Really, we're cool that way. We're talking about the Asus Nexus 7 tab. It's not available in India, but it is...
How sexy is this new tab? How beautiful is this? Now, visually, if you first look at the new Nexus 7, the 2013 Nexus 7, you'll be like, is this really a new gadget? I mean, hello, it's the same screen size.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Thinner bezel here on the sides, longer bezel here. But the biggest difference, visual difference, is the screen.
The screen is brilliant. It's clear, it's sharp, it's got great
Beautiful.
colors.
It's beautiful.
It's not as big as the iPad mini, but that's not a problem for me at all. But it's fantastic. If you're a gamer, and he is, I'm not a gamer, it's great for gaming.
Absolutely. In fact, 4.3 update to Jelly Bean brings a whole new functionality for Android gamers specifically. Prachi is up next with that story. But before that, let me tell you this. This hasn't launched in India yet. You can pick it up from US for about $230.
Which is not
Multiply
bad
at
at
by
all.
70
By
now.
an increasingly devaluing rupee,
God
please
knows
multiply
what
it.
is
Yes.
right now. But you can pick it up from Hong Kong, Singapore, US, wherever you are. This is about to launch in a matter of couple of weeks or months, hopefully weeks. And it might retail at price points that Nexus 7 is retailing at right now. So that's about 26,000 rupees for 16 and 32 GB. But this is pure speculation. Time to go into the break. On the other side of the break, Prachi is up next with what all are you going to get with Android Jelly Bean 4.3 update.
Welcome back. You're watching Switch. I am Naomi, and of course, that's Ankit. And if you're an Android user like Ankit, you'd be really happy about what's happened with Android. Not really happy because it isn't that much of a change.
But bring some good necessary changes.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about Android 4.3.
Yep.
It isn't Key Lime Pie, which everyone has been salivating over in anticipation. That hasn't come out yet. But 4.3 does have some incremental sort of innovations on it, which are not bad at all, which Prachi is going to tell us about. But do you want to tell us a little bit more about it? Like, give us a heads up before we get into what Prachi is telling
Actually,
us?
along with Jelly Bean 4.3, a lot has been happening in Android universe. For example, Chromecast, this gorgeous $35 little dongle which got announced, which basically brings the awesomeness of YouTube to your HD TV, and a very recent update where you can now track your lost Android phones, Gingerbread 2.2 and upwards. Prachi is here with all the details of Android developments that transpired over the last couple of weeks.
Android 4.3 is an even sweeter Jelly Bean now. Here's what it holds for you. Android 4.3 introduces restricted profiles. This new feature can be used to limit access to apps and content at home with your family and at work. You can set up separate environments, say for your kids or other users with fine-grained restrictions in the apps that are available in those environments. The owner controls which installed apps are enabled in the new profile, and access to the owner's accounts is disabled by default. Android 4.3 comes with Bluetooth Smart Ready support. With support for Bluetooth smart accessories, Android gets ready for a whole new class of mobile apps that connect to fitness sensors and other low-energy wearable tech like smartwatch and Google Glasses. Android 4.3 keeps your Wi-Fi on a low power state always. This is a better and more accurate way of detecting location rather than firing up those high-energy consuming GPS radios. The latest version of Android Jelly Bean offers improved high-performance graphics. Especially videos and games look great thanks to the 3D realistic graphics powered by OpenGL ES 3.0. Google Play Games comes pre-installed on all Android 4.3 devices. That means you don't have to look for games in Google Play Store anymore. All you need to do is click on this and you can access all the games that Google has to offer you.
What's also great is that the app data syncs across devices. This means that if you are on a certain level in Angry Birds on your phone, then you can just pick up your tablet and resume the game from the same point. You just need to be signed into your Google account on both the devices.
This latest version of Jelly Bean now also offers additional language support in Afrikaans, Amhari, Hindi, Swahili and Zulu. For now, Android 4.2.3 is only supported on the new Nexus 7, Nexus 4 and Nexus 10 devices. More will follow soon.
Android is such a dynamic environment that changes, upgrades and new things pop up every day. Here are two things we had to show you guys. First one is for people who lose their phones in between couches or forget them in restaurants very often.
Later this month, you will be able to use a new service called Android Device Manager, which can quickly ring your phone at maximum volume so you can find it even if it's been silenced or located on a map in real time. If your phone can't be recovered or has been stolen, you can quickly and securely erase all the data on the device as well. The Android Device Manager will be available for devices running Android 2.2 and above as part of Google Play.
Google brings to you Chromecast, which will do away with multiple screens in your life. How? Check it out.
Chromecast is a small and affordable device that you simply plug into your high-definition TV. It allows you to use your phone, tablet or laptop to cast online content to your TV screen. Chromecast works with Netflix, YouTube, Google Play Movies and TV, and Google Play Music with more apps like Pandora coming soon. Once your Chromecast is set up, you can use your phone, tablet or laptop to browse and cast content to your TV, play and pause, control the volume and more. But unlike other streaming solutions, you can still multitask and smartphones, iPhones, iPads, Chrome for Mac and Windows. It's across platforms, Android tablets and smartphones, iPhones, iPads, Chrome for Mac and Windows.
Okay, the restricted profiles, which really has been the sort of the front-end innovation that they've come up with. Now, the one catch there is that it's not available on your smartphones. It's available on your tabs, but really that's okay because a smartphone is really a personal device.
And tabs are shared devices.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be handing it to your little child in any case. But tabs is something like my nephew keeps playing with, you know, my sister's tablet and all of that. So in that case, it's not available on your smartphone, but it's a really minor point.
Which is all right. But you know, a lot of users have been complaining on the Switch Facebook and Twitter feeds saying 4.3 update is making the Nexus 4's, you know, run out of battery much quicker and the phone keeps rebooting itself. Just don't upgrade, yo.
Just be patient.
Relax.
Just be patient. Wait
There
it
will be a
out.
firmware update to update the bugs in 4.3. Just hang in there. Don't worry.
We are at Big Bang Bar and Cafe. That's where we shot Switch this week. And Ankit, what else?
It's time for the biggest bang, which is it's time to say thank you, tata, goodbye. And we're going to see you next week. Of course, you can check out the show again. youtube.com/CNBC-TV18 is where you can go. Check out these videos. Facebook.com and Twitter.com/SwitchFeed. Go there, throw us your questions.
Until next week then, you know what you have to do. Stay switched on.